Okay, so how does that arc length formula work? Well, if you're watching this because you've taken my pre-calculus course in section 5.2 of that David Lippmann book, you'll see this formula S equals theta times R, and that's how you find the arc length. So what they're talking about here is, maybe let's back up a little bit. Here's a circle, and if I'm going to find circumference of that circle, remember circumference is the distance all the way around the circle. Back in primary school or maybe middle school, you learned about how the circumference of a circle is equal to 2 pi times the radius. Well, what you were using, unbeknownst to you at the time, was this arc length formula, because what I'm doing is I'm going all the way around the circle one time. So the arc that I'm turning is a full circle, which is 360 degrees or 2 pi radians. So since this arc length formula says take the angle you're turning in radians and multiply by the radius, that's all we're doing here. See, one rotation times the radius. And if you give it in degrees, if you know the angle, the central angle, that theta angle is only part of the circle, and that's measured in degrees, you got to change it into a radian measure. So let's see, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so why does this arc length formula work when I know the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r? Well, if I'm only turning, if theta is pi radians or 180 degrees, I'm only going halfway around that circle, right? I'm going from here to here. So that's basically 1/2 of 2 times pi times the radius. And if you think 1/2 times 2 is just pi times the radius. So you see how that if I'm going pi radians, pi times r is going to be the arc length, that half a circle. And that works for any measure, any angle measure. So if I'm going 30 degrees, if I'm only going 30 degrees, so let's say that's about 30 degrees, and I want to know how big that arc length is, how long that part of the circle is. If I could cut off that snippet and straighten it out, I would have to change the 30 degrees into radians. So times that by pi over 180. And hopefully this is one of the ones you're going to have memorized shortly. And know that's pi over 6. And then we go pi over 6 times whatever the radius is. And that'll tell me the measure, okay? So that's what you do. Make sure you get your angle and radian measure and then multiply by the radius. And that's the arc length.